Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Bleecker Street's new film, Mountain Thyme. And this is a romance set in Ireland, and this is from writer-director John Patrick Shanley, who wrote Moonstruck and directed Doubt. Interesting. So he doesn't have many directorial credits under his belt. The last film he directed was indeed Doubt, which has very much of that play kind of feel. It feels like you're watching a play, except, Roger Deakins was the cinematographer on that, so that was pretty impressive. And this film, definitely, from, technical standpoint, there's some beautiful color in this film, and it really captures the beauty of Ireland and the countryside and everything. And it has a nice pace about it. It's kind of a whimsical little romance about this young man who's played by Jamie Dornan, whose father is trying to pass his land off on his American cousin, played by John Hamm, while Jamie Dornan's character, Anthony, has this connection with the woman who lives on the farm next to them, played by Emily Blunt. And one thing I do have to say about this film, so the father's played by Christopher Walken, who is doing one of the worst attempts at an Irish accent I've heard in a movie ever. It's bad. It just sounds like Christopher Walken, doing Christopher Walken. And ever so often, just throwing in what sounds like it's trying to be an Irish pronunciation of a word, and it's just what's going on here? Which is a shame, because honestly, his acting, there's a lot of emotion in his performance. They're a little cheesy, they're a little melodramatic scenes, but he has a really nice moment listening to Emily Blunt's character sing at a pub, and having a moment with his son towards the middle of the film. And this is some of the best acting Christopher Walken has done in years. Seven Psychopaths is the last live-action performance I've seen of Christopher Walken's where I'm that's great. And this one is well done, and besides the horrific accent. And in general, Jamie Dornan and Emily Blunt are doing their accents to some schlub from New Jersey. They sound alright to me. But apparently this film has been getting a lot of heat in Ireland for the terrible accents. Well, they sound like they're native Irish people compared to Christopher Walken in this movie. But enough talking about the accents in the film. How about the film? I think the story it has a lot of standard kind of romance film kind of tropes. And what I appreciate about it is the two main characters are weird. And they're weird. And Jamie Dornan's character is found just yapping away on a boat in the river or out in the fields. And it's a small town, so whispers go around. There's this one guy that just spreads all the rumors, finds Jamie Dornan practicing trying to talk to Emily Blunt by talking to a donkey. And, of course, all kinds of little rumors go around this small town about him and making connections to donkeys. But you really have this odd dynamic and Emily Blunt is extremely charming. Jamie Dornan's character, he's fine. I think Jamie Dornan does a solid job. But Emily Blunt's character is very charming and has a whimsical way about her, and she has some quirks to her. There's some things that get revealed through the film as well that brings a bit of a darker kind of light onto what she deals with in her life. And did it really hit as well as it could have? There's some tonal issues, I think, in this film that keep it from really impacting some of those really emotional moments. It climaxes into this weird, oddball kind of romantic sequence of just nonsense and weird revelations about these characters that is just weird enough to make it interesting enough for me to have fun with it. And honestly, I really wanted them to wind up together. They were each other's kind of weird. And sometimes that's enjoyable, and you want to see those two, like, outside the box people wind up together, because I think they're good for each other. And I spent most of the film really rooting for them, that hopefully, like, they get together. You have John Hamm thrown in there too. It's just kind of like, I feel like a red herring, obviously a rival in this situation in multiple ways. And he's just charming, he's just John Hamming it up. See what I did there? And supposed to be like a very stereotypical American. And it's John Hamm, he's charming, he does his thing. And in general, I think the performances range, well, like, forgetting about the accents, range from good, serviceable, solid job to I really like them, and they brought a lot of charisma to the role. And in general, I think Wild Mountain Thyme is a nice, solid, enjoyable romance for Bleecker Street coming out this December. And I think if you like romances, I think you'll enjoy it. If romances aren't your thing, but you're open to watching it and enjoy some offbeat kind of weird kind of stuff, I think this has enough different in terms of like the quirkiness that it might grab your attention. And I'm not saying this is the most profound story, most unique story. It's really not. You've seen things like this before, but I think the spirit that brought to the film, along with just the beautiful just greenery and just the lovely shots of really capturing Ireland, scenes of really nice folk music, and the score, I think, really captures the spirit of Ireland in this film. And in general, I think that's enough to make this stand out a little bit in a giant, vast sea of romance films. But those are my thoughts on Wild Mountain Thyme. Let me know what you think. Let's talk some movies. But thank you, as always, for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.